Oras na para sa napapanong balita tungkol sa gamat teknolohiya sa bansa. Ito ang DOST Report. Magandang araw Pilipinas, ako po si Oren Miranda, ang inyong kapatid sa Himbabawid at kasama po natin ang nag-iisang kalihim ng Department of Science and Technology, Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Magandang araw po, Sec Boy.
Magandang araw at makaagham na araw sa lahat. Onin, marami na naman tayong bagong maibabalita.
Tama po yan, Secretary. At mga kaibigan, ngayon pong linggo ito, ginugunita po natin ang National Astronomy Week. At bilang pakiisa po sa selebrasyong ito, mamaya po makakasama natin ang DOST-Advanced Science and Technology Institute para pag-usapan ang space technology sa Pilipinas, kabilang na ang ating mga cube satellites. Pero bago yan, alamin po muna natin ang updates tungkol sa science and technology program sa bansa sa sektor ng kalusugan, kabuhayan, kaayusan at kinabukasan. Narito po si Secretary Boy.
Salamat, Onin. Ang unang items, actually 9 items na i-report ko ay yung kalusugan at kabuhayan. Pagkatapos, another 8 items sa kaayusan at kinabukasan. So ang una natin ay ibalita na natin yung mga may kinalaman sa ating RX box. Actually, ang aming tatlong rehiyon, DOST Region 3, Central Luzon, Region 4A, ang Calabarzon, at Region 11 ay nag-deploy na ng kanilang repurposed RX box units as part of the DOST's response against COVID-19. Ito kasi mga regions natin may mga share dun sa una naming 1,000 ipinagawang RX boxes. Ito yung ginagamit na pangkuha ng mga life signs, vital signs, at pwede siyang ikabit sa pasyente na para hindi magkalapit yung health worker at saka yung pasyente sa pagkuha. Dati ito ay ginagamit ng ating mga rural health doctors para yung mga nakikita nilang vital signs and other indicators ay ma-transmit nila doon sa mga tertiary hospitals na pwede magbigay sa kanila ng payo or sa mga tertiary doctors, specialized doctors. Ang DOST Calabarzon ay nag-deploy ng 6. Okay? At ito ay para sa Medical City sa Santa Rosa, Laguna. Ito ay binigay nila at nilahukan ng pagtitrain ng mga health workers from the intensive care and emergency units ng hospital na iyon na nagkaroon sila ng 3-day training. Then, yun naman ating Region 3, DOST3, has turned over its initial 23 RX boxes to be used in the DOH managed temporary and treatment monitoring facilities in the provinces of Central Luzon. Gayon din, ang DOST11 has finalized arrangements for the turnover of their initial 25 RX box units to be deployed in the hospitals, specifically Southern Philippines Medical Center, ang Davao Regional Medical Center at ang Davao del Sur Provincial Hospital, as well as the Davao Oriental Provincial Medical Center. Ang pangalawang item na i-report ko, ang DOST Philippine Council for Health Research and Development ay nagkakaroon ng Tuklas Lunas webinar on March 9, 2021. The DOST PCHRD is holding this webinar, okay, particularly so that our Tuklas Lunas researchers can share their accomplishments and best practices from which other researchers can learn and adapt these practices in the implementation of their respective projects. The Tuklas Lunas program is the drug discovery and development program of DOST through our Philippine Council for Health Research and Development that envisions to produce world-class medicines derived from the Philippine biodiversity, leveraging on local expertise. This Tuklas Lunas program supports the following. First, building institutional and human capacity for discovery and development of natural products through R&D grants. Second, developing bioresources both usually unique in the regions, into natural products. And three, bringing the candidate substances or compounds to a stage where they are sufficiently de-risked, okay, wala na risk, and ripe for early licensing, not necessarily for full product development. Kasi kahit na nasa stage pa lang siya ng active ingredients, ay pwede na siyang kunin ng industry. Of course, through licensing agreements. In 2020, Dito Class Lunas program of DOST supported 62 research projects implemented by 23 institutions, mostly universities, with a total funding of 222.5 million. Ito ay 2020. Item 4 in my report, still on kalusugan, we have a disaster risk reduction management for health niche research center, or NICER. And this is based in at the University of the Philippines, Manila, UP Manila. And they have reported updates on this particular program. We call it the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management in Health NICER, or DRRMH NICER. This program aims to establish a center that serve as hub for all health stakeholders, particularly in the National Capital Region, to contribute their expertise and efforts in terms of disaster risk reduction and management that is focused on health. On its first 3 years, the DRRMH Center implemented the 3 component projects. One is developing a resource mapping and tracking software, which will indicate the location and condition of key disaster response facilities. Second is a mental health triad system that complements camp management with mental health training. And the third is a simulation-based learning laboratory. To date, the program trained 515 professionals, including national and local government officials. So open talaga for the rest of the regions. Okay? Based on the results of the pre-test and post-test, there is a remarkable and sharp improvement of behavior towards communication, collaboration, and command that led to better outcome of simulated incidents or disaster response. For sustainability, the project team was able to set up linkages with 15 government agencies, 3 academic offices, and the UN Simulation Training Network. So we go on to item 5, still on health, on kalusugan. DOST has actually been supporting a research on the use of aptamers for early detection of leptospirosis. Okay, and they already reported some significant accomplishments. This is actually an exploratory research on the possibility of using in silico methodologies to screen aptamers. Aptamers are short, single-stranded DNA or RNA molecules that can selectively bind to a specific target, including proteins, peptides, carbohydrates, small molecules, toxins, and even live cells. Among the existing methodologies, the use of genetic algorithm, or GA, coupled with molecular docking simulations seem promising considering the time frame of the study and the available computational resources. Given that this algorithm is one of the most efficient optimization algorithms typically used in machine learning applications, it will help in minimizing the total number of simulations to be done while still arriving on an optimum set of aptamer candidates. This will help us actually in our diagnosis of leptospirosis. Okay, we now go to our kabuhayan report, a coffee production management improvement program. This is DOST-8 Eastern Visayas. Okay, yes. And their initial beneficiaries are farmers from Ormoc City in Leyte. And this was done, this is being done through online technology systems. No? So they started with this on February 8, 2021, when DOST Region 8 and the Provincial Science and Technology Center of Leyte in partnership with the Energy Development Corporation, led by Mr. Erwin Magallanes, and the LGU of Ormoc City, under the with the help of Sibyl Villegas, and the Barangay LGU of Tongonan, Leyte. They actually embarked on this program on the cultural management practices for coffee production. And the beneficiaries are the Tongonan Farmers Association. This is in Barangay Tongonan, Ormoc City. Their president is Chona Parco. The activity aims to enhance the farmers' coffee production skills and subsequently ensure the sustainable supply of green coffee and ground roasted coffee, which are being developed to be one of the major products of Ormoc City in Leyte. We would like to report that in the case of DOST Region 10, this is based in Cagayan de Oro. This is in northern Mindanao. Together with the local city government of Malaybalay City, they have actually produced disease-free banana planting materials for farmers in geographically isolated areas. And their beneficiaries are small-scale banana farmers, mainly from Malaybalay City. So now they can access disease-free and quality banana planting materials, okay, for their livelihood. The city has a tissue culture laboratory, and it is now able to mass produce such quality planting materials for the farmers of Malaybalay City. Okay, so the laboratory has actually gone into full operation this February 2021. We would like to report that the DOST Industrial Technology Development Institute, or ITDI, inaugurated the Modular Multi-Industry Innovation Center at the DOST here in Bicutan. Actually, about 2 months ago, we had a virtual presser on this, but today was the opening, okay, of the MMIC, the Modular Multi-Industry Innovation Center, which is one of DOST's big ticket projects, okay? And we saw the many facilities that are available there, okay? So this MMIC is actually an industrial processing facility with multifunctional and multi-application modular unit operation equipment that can be retrofitted to different manufacturing needs. It is envisioned to cater to food, dietary food supplements, and personal care or oral hygiene product as part of its primary lines. Okay, so anything that is taken in the mouth. Okay, so that includes mouthwash from calamansi extracts. It includes toothpaste also from calamansi extracts, and so mainly it has 3 manufacturing lines. They have the nut and the seed oil line, they have the liquid and emulsion line, and the mixed blend powder line. Yung liquid and emulsion, I was happy to see a new product, the Banabati, which it's actually a kind of emulsion that you can drink, and then of course we have the facilities to produce the tablets that will process the byproducts from the processing of fruit. Halimbawa, the calamansi, whatever remains after extracting the juice, okay, whatever remains from the mango after taking out the mango to be dried or to be processed, so yung mga mango peelings, ito pala ay source of fiber, okay, so they can convert this into tablets that can be taken in. And of course, I also saw yung oil line nila. Okay, so from the coconut, mature coconut, you have a straight line where doon na kinukudkod, and then doon na rin pinipress. Okay, pagdating sa dulo ay meron ka ng coconut oil. Okay, and this coconut oil is used for different products. Okay. Very interesting, and it will help our small and medium enterprises, those that want to expand their product lines and those that want to also to start new businesses. So with this new R&D hub, processors now have easier access to various kinds of food and industrial processing equipment and efficient manufacturing facilities. It also offers a venue where DOST and partner industries can tinker on various food and other product concepts and create or brew new and exciting technologies for the market. It also aims to offer economic support and technology assistance to the academe and the industry. So interested clients may now avail or use the MMIC through its four modes of engagement. Namely, they can use the facility and equipment, or they can avail of technical services, they can transfer, they can adapt technologies, and they can also engage in contract research. The last item on kabuhayan is a report from our Cucumber Research and Development Center way out there in Misamis. Okay, this is actually based at the Mindanao State University in Naawan. Okay, so they have recently turned over juveniles of sandfish, which the scientific name is Holoturia scabra. Okay, for growing out, okay, by our small fish raisers or aquaculture people in Mahinog, Camiguin. Okay, this DOST-GIA or Grants in Aid funded project under our Niche Research Center program or NICER program is specifically devoted to Cucumber. Okay, we have a very experienced scientist who heads the center there, Dr. Wilfredo Uy of MSU in Naawan. And of course, they spearheaded the seeding and turnover ceremony of sandfish or Holoturia scabra juveniles to grow out in Mahinog, Camiguin. These Cucumber juveniles were produced already in the hatchery of MSU Naawan. Alam naman natin na mahal yung Cucumber na yung mga yan. Ano? And a total of 28,000 juveniles were released and turned over to local beneficiaries in Camiguin. Okay? Actually, there were 6 local beneficiaries also with 1,000 juveniles each. Now, there were also juveniles that were released in the sanctuary and inside the Taguines Lagoon. This activity is important to enhance the stock of Cucumber species through culture and to supplement the livelihood of the Cucumber gatherers or fisher folk. Yun lang, yung nangunguha lang sa open area. Okay? So the turnover activity was participated, of course, by MSU Anawan, by the local officials of the Barangay Benoni in Mahinog, Camiguin, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources under DA in Region 10, and Camiguin Polytechnic State College. That completes my report on kalusugan and kabuhayan.
Alright. Maraming salamat po, Sec Boy, para po sa unang bahagi ng inyong pong report. Marami pa kin dapat malaman, kaya huwag niyo alis. Magbabalik pa ang DOST Report.
Ang agham at teknolohiya ay daan tungo sa pag-unlad ng bayan.
Susi sa pag-unlad ng ekonomiya, patungo sa magandang kinabukasan ng bawat isa.
Paglikha, paghahanap, at aplikasyon ng kaalaman para sa kaunlaran ng pangkalahatang pamumuhay.
Ay sinag ng pag-asa.
Ay importante sa pag-unlad ng ekonomiya ng isang bansa.
Ang game changer para sa new normal.
Ay susi sa kaunlaran.
Ay mapagpabago, napapanahon at tumutugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan at patuloy nitong pag-unlad.
Ay sandigan ng buhay at ang maghahatid ng magandang kinabukasan.
Ay tulay at lakas tungo sa kaunlaran ng ating ekonomiya.
Susi sa kaunlaran. Ang siyang mangunguna sa pag-unlad ng Rehiyon 1.
Ay susi sa pag-unlad ng Mindanao.
Ay sandigan sa pag-unlad ng ating bansa.
Ay para mabago at umusbong ang buhay ng mga seaweed farmers.
Para sa mga pamilya na nakatira sa mga pamayanan na jida at walang kuryente.
Ay para rin sa pag-create ng mga livelihood para sa mga small farmers natin and IT communities.
Para sa ating mga kapatid na lumad dito sa Davao Region. Ang agham at teknolohiya ay para sa bayan.
Ang agham at teknolohiya ay para sa pagbabago at pag-unlad ng bawat Pilipino.
Kayo po nakatutok sa DOST Report para po sa pagpapatuloy ng ating programa. Narito pong muli si Secretary Boy.
Sa kaayusan na Onin, tama-tama naman kasi ang ating mga bisita ngayon ay mga taga-Advanced Science and Technology Institute who are involved in space technology development. So the first item under kaayusan actually is an update from our DOST-Advanced Science and Technology Institute. And this is an update on the space technology program. The Cube satellite Maya 2 from the Philippines, together with other Cube satellites from Japan and Paraguay, will be launched into space aboard the SS Catherine Johnson Cygnus spacecraft on February 21, 2021 at 1:36 a.m. Philippine time. Also, they updated us that 11 Filipino engineers are set to participate in a know-how transfer and training program in the United Kingdom starting April 2021 for the development of the design of a multispectral unit for land assessment satellite, MULA. MULA is a multispectral unit for land assessment. The DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute, or ASTI, is also currently upgrading its Davao ground receiving station to directly receive spaceborne data from Novastar-1 satellite. Direct reception of satellite data translates to faster availability of useful information, making us more responsive to time-sensitive and critical events such as disaster response. Next item is still on kaayusan, our DOST Industrial Technology Development Institute, or DOST-ITDI, conducted a webinar on modernizing the Philippines National Measurement System, and the audience were the Senate Science and Technology Committee. This webinar aims to give the participants from the Senate an overview of the science of measurement or metrology. It also promoted awareness of metrology and its importance for the Philippine economy, as well as the metrology bill that is being lobbied, which is the modernized national measurement system. The webinar, which was arranged by DOST attached agencies and regional offices, had also participants coming from other government offices and academia. The topics discussed were about the improvements and the added impacts that metrology will be able to produce once the national managed measurement system is modernized, and the profile of the National Metrology Laboratory at the DOST-ITDI is already improved as mandated by Republic Act 9236, which is the current law governing metrology in the country. Okay, so I was present during this webinar, as well as Undersecretary Rowena Guevara, simply to give support, okay, and to highlight the importance of metrology and the passing of the bill. Next item, still on kaayusan, is a report from the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. We have mentioned many times that we have a high demand for irrigation facilities, particularly for our agricultural exports that are shipped abroad, becoming more and more of a requirement by importing countries to have these agricultural products irradiated, okay, before shipping out. And of course, there are other uses for the medical sector also. Now, 3 companies, this is the good news, because we are having difficulty to expand our facilities because of high investments. There are now 3 companies that plan to set up private irrigation facilities in the country. These facilities are operated by the DOST Philippine Nuclear Research Institute for radiation sterilization, decontamination, shelf life extension of food and non-food materials, and also for research and development purposes. And recent years have shown an increasing demand for the irradiation of various commodities and medical products from various companies in the food, herbal, and medical sectors. So the good news is that now 3 local companies are seriously considering to set up their respective fully commercialized multi-purpose irradiation facilities. So the next report is about the release of the Compendium of Technologies by DOST and the Board of Investments. This is under the PhilSA or Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology R&D of DOST. And on the part of TTI, they have the Board of Investments. So jointly, we have released a collection of technologies developed by Filipino researchers that are ready for adoption and commercialization. The Compendium of Technologies show technologies that were supported by the government, and they include key information on how this can be used and their development status. So 26 technologies are featured in this first compendium that prospective investors can invest on, adapt, or commercialize. The compendium can also be online accessed through http projects.dost.gov.ph or at the BOI website by clicking the Compendium of Technologies button in the Resources tab. Next report is still on kaayusan. The Philippines, through the Department of Science and Technology, joins the UN Commission on Science and Technology for Development intersessional panel meeting. Okay, we have the newly re-elected member, Undersecretary Rowena Guevara, representing the Philippines in the 2020-2021 intersessional panel meeting of the United Nations Commission on Science and Technology for Development. Again, this was held virtually from January 18 to 22, 2021, and the 5-day conference was the first meeting that the Philippines participated in as a member upon our election in the Commission on April 21, 2020, with the assumption to post on January 1st, 2021. The meeting discussed issues related to the themes using science, technology, and innovation to close the gap on Sustainable Development Goal 3 on good health and well-being, and harnessing blockchain for sustainable development prospects and challenges. CSTD member countries and experts shared their best practices and lessons learned on the said topics. Undersecretary Guevara made an intervention specifically on January 19, 2021, and discussed about the experiences of the Philippines in applying science, technology, and innovation in the health sector. Okay, so she mentioned that the country has long recognized the importance of science and research in crafting evidence-informed health policies and actions. One of its clear manifestations is the establishment of the National Health Research Framework through the Philippine National Health Research Systems Law. Okay, maybe I should mention I was once a chair of the UN Commission on Science and Technology for Development way back in 2012. The next item is a report by our PhilSA, the DOST Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, R&D, and this is on their program called PREP, P-R-E-P, Preparing Researchers as Entrepreneurs Program. So they have an initial batch of 14 researchers, okay, who are now on their way to become entrepreneurs. Okay, so the PREP, it's actually a 2-month training program in partnership with the Ateneo Intellectual Property Office, which aims to equip researchers with basic business and entrepreneurial skills for them to clearly articulate the value proposition of their technology, identify their markets, customers, and partners necessary for commercialization, and of course, to craft a suitable business model for their product or service. They will soon have a second batch under PREP. Now, item 16 is another good news. Our Philippine Nuclear Research Institute's Plant Growth Promoter, or PGP, research team won at the regional level Lingkod Bayan Award. This is under the Civil Service Commission. Of course, they will vie for the national level award. Okay? And the scientists and researchers from the DOST Philippine Nuclear Research Institute won this level for this regional level award for developing the radiation process Karajinan Plant Growth Promoter, or PGP, that has helped increase the harvest in farmlands across the country, particularly rice and mung bean. This regional award makes the PGP team a candidate or a semi-finalist for the national level of the Presidential Lingkod Bayan Award, an annual recognition conferred to government workers for exceptional or extraordinary contributions that had nationwide impact on public interest, security, and patrimony. Last, this is still not the last, but second to the last, the DOST Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources R&D has relaunched a book and information materials on vegetables to aid communities during this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, actually, this pandemic has impacted our health, economy, and even food supply and demand. This situation has prompted the different sectors to adapt to the new normal and steer innovations to aid the needs of the population. So, in the case of Picard, they have relaunched this book, but they also launched the book, which is a compendium, okay, of the different vegetables found all over the country. Okay, so it is often said that an individual knows only the names of around 15 vegetables. Maybe you can try it yourself, how many vegetables you can name. But here we have more than, I think, close to 500 vegetables in their book, okay, coming from different regions of the country. Some vegetables are relatively unique to a particular region, okay? And it is very interesting to learn about this. So maybe we should target that if we only know 15 vegetables, we should at least double our knowledge on the number of vegetables that we can take. And lastly, we are glad to announce the appointment of 2 officials in our agencies. New DOST pivots and PAG-ASA officials were appointed by the President. And these are the appointment of Teresito Bacolcol as the Deputy Director of DOST PIVOT, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, and Dr. Esperanza Kayanan as DOST PAG-ASA's Deputy Administrator for Research and Development. She used to head the flood forecasting unit of PAG-ASA. So this is all about our report this week. Quite long, but I'm sure our mga taga-subaybay appreciates these developments. Thank you very much, Odin.
Maraming salamat po, Sec Boy, at sa amin pong pagbabalik, usapang pangkalawakan po tayo. Mga inobasyon ng mga Filipino engineers and researchers sa larangan po ng space technology. Ating pong tatalakayin yan. Sky is not the limit. Sa pagbabalik po yan ng DOST Report.
10 seconds to deploy. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Kayo po'y nakatutok sa DOST report. Sa mga nakaraang taon ay nakapag-launch na po ang Pilipinas ng Filipino-made small satellites. Ito po ang Diwata 1 and 2 at ang Maya 1. Ito po ay sa pagtutulungan ng Department of Science and Technology, Advanced Science and Technology Institute, University of the Philippines at ilang mga universities sa Japan.
Tama ka, Onin. Isa itong malaking achievement para sa ating bansa na makadevelop tayo ng sarili nating satellites. Ika nga, we mark our place in space.
Yan. At sa puntong ito, makakasama po natin ang ilan sa mahusay na Filipino engineers at researchers mula sa DOST-AST at UP upang ibahagi sa atin ng mga bagong nanosatellites na dinevelop nila ngayon. Makakasama po natin sina Professor Paul Jason Co, Project Leader ng Step Up, at Alvin Iratamar, Chief Science Research Specialist ng DOST-AST. Magandang araw po sa inyo mga sir. Paano po ba nagsimula itong ating local development of nanosatellites? At paano po ba ito nasimulan?
Magandang araw sa inyo, Sir Sec Boy. Nagsimula po ang lahat nung pinondahan po ng Department of Science and Technology ang Philippine Microsatellite Program or PhL Microsat Program po. Sa pagkikipagtulungan po ng DOST sa ahensya niya tulad ng DOST-AST at PhilSA at sa University of the Philippines, nagpadala po tayo ng engineers sa Japan, sa university sa Japan, namely Tohoku University at Hokkaido University, para po i-develop yung kauna-unahan nating microsatellite na tinawag po nating Diwata 1. After that po, nagpadala rin po tayo ng engineers sa Kyushu Institute of Technology para naman po i-develop pong Maya 1, ang kauna-unahan po nating cube satellite. After some time po, nilaunch din po natin at dinevelop po natin at eventually nilaunch ang Diwata 2 sa Tohoku University din po. So yung Diwata 1 po and Diwata 2, these are actually microsatellites na may timbang na 50 kilograms more or less. Samantala po yung Maya 1 ay mas maliit po siya. Tumitimbang lang po na halos 1 kilo. And it can literally fit in the palm of your hand.
Kaya nga, mula noong 2016, actually, ay nakapag-launch na ang Pilipinas ng tatlong small satellites. Ang Diwata 1 at ang Diwata 2 na tinatawag nating microsatellites at ang Maya 1 na tinatawag naman nating nano satellite. Ako ay maswerte dahil nung i-launch ang Diwata 2 ay nandoon ako na i-launch ito sa Japan. Ano? Siguro banggitin natin na Alvin, ano ba ang gamit nitong mga ito?
Posek. So yung Diwata 1 po at saka Diwata 2, these are actually optical satellites. Madaling salita po, meron po silang camera bilang payload at kumukuha po sila ng images sa galing sa kalawakan at dito sa areas of interest natin sa Pilipinas. Yung mga naging use cases na po, magbabanggit lang po ako ng ilan. For Diwata 1, for example, nagamit na po natin siya to monitor yung turbidity ng Manila Bay. At ginawa po natin to during the Manila Bay Rehabilitation Program. On top of that, nagamit na rin po natin siya for scientific purposes by determining yung tinatawag pong cloud top height. Kapag mabilis po kasi ang rate ng yung growth rate ng vertical cloud top height, ibig sabihin po nito ay magkakaroon po ng thunderstorm or pag-ulan. So meron na pong paper na sinulat po ang ating mga kasamahan sa University of the Philippines ungkol dito. Diwata 2 naman po, nakapag-cover na po siya sa Pilipinas around 85% of our landmass. At ang ilan sa mga napagamitan na po natin, maliban po sa mga disaster applications, nagamit po natin siya sa pag-monitor ng ashfall noong 2020, nung pumutok po ang Taal. Na-determine po natin using Diwata 2 kung ano po yung extent ng ashfall sa iba't ibang lugar sa Southern Luzon at sa Kamaynilaan. On top of that, nagamit din po natin siya sa pag-determine ng extent ng forest fire sa Benguet when it happened. At nagamit din po natin siya sa pag-determine ng benthic habitat or yung pong corals and seagrasses para po naman may coastal applications din. Nagagamit din po natin ang Diwata 2 images for urban sprawl. No? So na-determine po natin kung ano po yung mga pagbabago sa anyong lupa, kung may mga bagong struktura po bang tinayo, at nakakatulong po ito sa urban planning. Maliban po sa images, ang Diwata 2 po ay meron ding tinatawag na Amateur Radio Unit o ARU na pwede po natin gamitin as an emergency communication. So kung sakali pong ang mga communication facilities natin ay nag-fail for some reason, makakaasa po tayo sa Diwata 2 using Amateur Radio Unit na magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng communication.
Ayan. Sa Maya 1 po, sir, meron po bang nagawa na ang Maya 1?
Ang Maya 1 po ay may mga payload na camera din po, GPS at communication modules din po siya. But more beyond the payloads na meron ang Maya 1, ang pinakang mahalaga po sa kanya ay isa po siyang platform for learning. So dahil po sa ang paggawa po ng CubeSat ay mas cost-effective kaysa gumamit ng mas malalaking satellites, nakakatulong po ito sa pag-develop ng capabilities natin, lalo na po sa mga universities na kung saan yun po ang source natin ng manpower para po tuloy-tuloy na gumagalaw ang ating space activities.
Paano po naman siya na-access ang mga larawan na nakukuha ng mga satellites na ito?
Na-access po natin ang mga larawan at data ng mga satellites na ito sa pamamagitan po ng isang ground receiving station. At sa Pilipinas po, ito po yung Philippine Earth Data Resource and Observation Center. So meron po tayong ground receiving station sa opisina natin sa ASTI sa Quezon City, sa loob po ng UP Diliman Campus. At meron pa po tayong isa sa Davao, sa Kaap po, malapit po sa airport. At yung mga images po natin na nakukuha, eventually pinapasa po natin sa University of the Philippines, sa mga partners natin doon, upang i-process at gawing available sa public sa pamamagitan po ng PHL Microsat portal or website.
Andun na po yung Pedro na binabanggit po ninyo. Ibig sabihin yung Pedro abbreviation po siya, di po ba?
Yes, apa. Yung Pedro po again stands for the Philippine Earth Data Resource and Observation Center.
Pedro.
Ayan. Talaga po palang napaka-organized ng ating space technology from satellites to ground receiving centers. Talagang kumpleto. Ano po, Secretary?
Tama ka, Onin. Pero simula pa lang yan. Marami pa tayong dinidevelop na nano-satellites. Ano? At may ilan na rin na malapit na tayong i-launch sa space. So pakinggan natin si Paul, Jason, tungkol dito.
Salamat po, Secretary. So ngayong taon po ay inaasahan natin na meron tayong ila-launch na 3 nano-satellites sa space. Si Maya 2, Maya 3, and Maya 4. Si Maya 2 ay nasa ilalim ng Birds 4 program ng Kyushu Institute of Technology kung saan partner ang Pilipinas at ang Paraguay. Sa ilalim ng programang ito ay nagpadala ang Pilipinas ng 3 DOST scholars para i-develop ang Maya 2 habang sila ay nag-aaral ng kanilang PhD. Okay? Ang Maya 2 ay merong camera, automatic packet reporting system message digipeater or APRSTP, attitude determination and control units, perovskite solar cells at latch-up detection chips. Sa kasalukuyan ay na-turn over na ang Maya 2 sa JAXA at nakaschedule na itong ma-launch sa February 21 ngayong linggo ng 1 AM ng umaga. Okay. Ang Maya 3 at Maya 4 naman ay kasabay nating ginawa habang dinedevelop ang Maya 2 sa Japan, ay meron tayong binukas na nanosatellite engineering program sa ilalim ng Electrical and Electronics Engineering Institute ng College of Engineering sa UP Diliman. Dito sa programang to ay meron tayong 8 DOST scholars na kumukuha ng kanilang master's degree habang kanilang dinedevelop ang Maya 3 at Maya 4. May mga features na magkakamuka sa mga Maya class na satellites katulad ng mga cameras, yung APR-SDP at yung mga store and forward na pare-pareho sa Maya 2, 3, and 4. Habang si Maya 4 ay may dagdag na near-infrared camera na payload. Okay? So ang Maya 3 at Maya 4 ay ang unang nanosatellites na ginawa sa Philippine universities. Sinimulan itong gawin noong January 2019 at kakatapos lang ng mga scholars nating pumunta ng Japan upang test ang flight model ng Maya 3 at Maya 4 at inaasahang ma-launch din ito ngayong taong ito.
Alright. Ano naman po, sir, yung magiging kapakinabangan ng mga satellites nito na malapit ng ilunsad?
Okay. So, itong mga satellites na to, meron silang mga cameras na maaari nating gamitin upang obserbahan ang Earth. Yung standard na RGB cameras, yung NIR cameras naman maaari nating gamitin para i-monitor ang kalusugan ng mga halamanan na nasa lupa. Ang APR-SDP ay pwede nating magamit ng mga amateur radio enthusiasts, yung mga ham radios operators para makapagpadala ng mga maliliit na digital message. Halimbawa sa panahon ng disasters, maaari itong magamit. Ang store and forward na payload naman, inaasahan natin na magagamit sa mga ground sensors na nakalagay sa mga lugar na walang madaling paraan na makapag-communicate. So gagamitin natin yung store and forward para kunin yung data mula sa mga sensors na ito at ipadala dun sa mga ground stations natin sa lupa.
Well, gaya nga na nabanggit natin ay patuloy ang development natin ng ating mga nanosatellites. Meron pala tayo ila-launch ng February 21 at ngayon pa lang ay nagsisimula na ang development ng Maya 5 and Maya 6. Maaari mo bang ibahagi sa amin yan, Paul Jason?
Opo, Secretary. So noong para tuloy-tuloy po ang pag-produce natin ng mga eksperto sa pag-develop ng nanosatellites ay noong August 2020 ay meron na naman po tayong panibagong 8 mga DOST scholars na pumasok ulit dun sa nanosatellite engineering track sa UP upang i-develop ang Maya 5 at Maya 6. Ang mga mission neto ay mayroong mga kapareho din nung Maya 2, 3, and 4 na yung camera, mga camera, yung store and forward, at yung APR-SDP. Bukod dito ay meron tayong mga bagong isasakay sa Maya 5 and 6 na mga components na dito na natin sa Pilipinas dinesign at gagawin katulong ang EPDC.
Alright. Talagang nakakatuwa pong pakinggan itong ganitong klaseng inobasyon. Talagang sabi nga po nila, sky is not the limit. Ano po bang advantages na nakagagawa po tayo ng sarili nating small satellites dito mismo sa ating pong bansa?
Ilan sa mga advantages na nakakagawa tayo ng sarili nating satellites sa Pilipinas ay unang-una, of course, mabilis yung turnaround time ng development dahil ang mga facilities at ang mga resources ay narito na. At meron na rin tayong sapat na kakayahan upang gumawa ng mga satellites na to. Maliban dyan, of course, lumalaki ang ating capability upang makagawa ng satellites dahil ang mga facilities nga, tulad ng aking nabanggit, ay narito na. Ito ay makakatulong upang makabuo tayo ng critical mass of people na importante para tuloy-tuloy ang ating activities sa space technology. Maliban dyan, dahil nakakagawa tayo ng sarili nating satellites, makakatulong din ito upang mabuo ang space industry. Kung saan ang mga local companies or local players ay makakatulong or lalago dahil may mga activities tayo in space na nangangailangan ng kanilang serbisyo.
Ngayon nga, actually, ay meron na tayong Philippine Space Agency at ang DOST rin naman ang nagtulak dito at naglabi para maging batas. Na-create na ito at ito ay inilagay sa ilalim ng Office of the President. So ngayon meron na tayong Philippine Space Agency. Ano kaya, Alvin, na magiging impact nito sa ating mga projects, sa ating space technology projects? Paano magkakaroon ng synergy, ika nga, ang Philippine Space Agency at ang DOST-Advanced Science and Technology Institute?
Opo, Sec. With the creation of PhilSA, ang napag-usapan po ay yung mga kasalukuyan pong proyekto na ginagawa po ng DOST ay tatapusin po muna ng DOST. At para po hindi maapektuhan ang activities ng mga projects na to, dahil po nagkakaroon din po kasi ng movement ng mga tao. Naturally po, yung mga empleyado ng PhilSA ay manggagaling din sa mga proyekto na involved sa space projects. Ibabalik po or i-detail back ng PhilSA ang mga employees nila pabalik dito sa mga projects na to para po tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang mga activities at hindi po ito maapektuhan. In the case po naman ng mga projects na tapos na pinag-uusapan na po namin unti-unti yung transition plans para po ilipat na po natin ng maayos sa PhilSA ang mga projects na natapos na po ng DOST-AST. In terms naman po ng synergy, hindi naman po kaila na ang Director General po ng PhilSA sa kasalukuyan ay ang dating Director ng ASI, si Director Marciano, at malapit naman po sa puso niya ang ASI at ang DOST in general. And I guess in terms of communication, wala naman pong magiging problema. And I think ang PhilSA naman po is not trying to build an island wherein yung space technology ay kanila lamang. They do realize na kailangan po nila ng tulong mula sa ibang ahensya, katulad po ng DOST, ng UP at iba pa pong research institute. Dahil po malawak po ang space technology and marami pong intersection with other technologies. For example po, baka mangangailangan sila ng high performance computing at artificial intelligence, makakatulong po ang ASTI sa ganong aspeto.
Alright. Ano pa ho ang mga future plans natin, sir, pagdating sa space science and technology?
Sa ngayon po, we are planning, of course, yung Novasar satellite. We are planning to directly receive data from said satellite. Kasalukuyan po, meron po tayong engineers na nasa Davao Ground Receiving Station natin at ina-upgrade po ang ating facility para po makakuha tayo ng data directly from Novasar. On top of that po, meron po tayong yung third satellite po na tinatawag namin na wherein magpapadala po tayo ng engineers sa United Kingdom upang simulan ang pag-design ng third satellite na nabanggit din po kanina ni Sec Boy sa kanyang report.
Taas po ng pataas ang kakayahan ng mga Pilipino sa area po ng space science and technology at nangangailangan po tayo ng mas marami pang engineers, scientists at researchers po sa field na ito. Sir, ano po mensahe po ninyo para sa mga kabataan?
Well, sana ay maging updated ang ating mga estudyante sa mga pangyayaring ito. Marami namang mga information na aming ina-upload na maging accessible sa ating mga kabataan. Siyempre, amin din tutulungan ang ating mga nagtuturo ng science education sa particular na sa basic education at lalo na sa high school na maisama ito sa kanilang mga aralin, lalo na yung mga nasa senior high school na nasa STEM track. At gusto din naming banggitin na in the future, vision din natin sa Pilipinas na magkaroon ng industriya na related sa space technology. At hindi lang yon, siguro nananawagan din ako dun sa mga, kahit yung mga tapos na ng ibang kurso na may interest. Ano? Kasi yung una nating batch of scholars sa ating master's degree towards space engineering, kung titingnan mo yung background nila ay iba-iba naman. Ano? Merong physics ang background, may engineering ang background, may computer science ang background, at sa iba-ibang larangan sila nang galing. Ano? Meron pa ng dalawang scholars na babae na galing sa Philippine Navy. Ano? So you can come from, siyempre kailangan naman may konting technical background sa education.
Alright. Muli po, maraming salamat po sa ating mga panauhin kay Professor Paul Jason Co, Project Leader ng Step Up, at kay Mr. Alvin Iratamar, Chief Science Research Specialist ng DOST-ASTI. At sa amin pong pagbabalik, sasagutin ni Secretary Boy ang tanong po ng bayan, wag po kaya alis, magbabalik pa ang DOST Report. Oras na para sagutin ni Secretary Boy ang tanong ng bayan. Para po sa unang katanungan, mula po kay Tess Ramirez ng Radyo Pilipinas, sa pangkalahatan, ano po ang pakinabang ng mamamayan sa mga satellites sa pagtugon ng bansa sa COVID-19 at sa mga Pilipino?
Okay, so siguro itatanong natin kay Alvin Retamar kung ano ang kanyang magiging sagot diyan sa katanungan na yan. In general kasi yung ating mga satellites ay nagagamit natin dahil ito ay isang paraan for remote sensing, kaya kung ano ang nangyayari sa isang lugar ay makikita mo, ano? So halimbawa kung merong nangyaring disaster katulad ng bagyo, baha, antimano, ay nakikita natin kung ano itsura sa isang lugar, no? At sa gayon ay meron tayong appropriate response. Siguro tanong natin, halimbawa itong COVID-19 na ito, ano ang pwede nating malaman sa pamamagitan ng satellite, Alvin?
Maraming salamat po, Sec Boy. Katulad po ng nasabi niyo, yung satellites po nagagamit yan mainly for monitoring. Ngayon po, during the time of COVID-19, nagamit po natin yung satellites to monitor yung activity po na nangyayari sa kalupaan habang nangyayari po yung pandemya. Katulad po niyan yung traffic. For example, sa mga checkpoints, nakikita po natin kung gaano kahaba na ang traffic po na nangyayari dahil po may checkpoint. And dahil po sa informasyon na yan, pwede po nating gamitin para gumawa ng mga paraan at maintindihan kung paano magagawa ng paraan ang mga traffic. Katulad din po ng, meron din po tayong kinuhang mga images para tignan ang ating mga ports, no? Kung ano po ang kalagayan ng ports during COVID-19. At tiningnan din po natin ang lagay ng ating supply ng tubig during that time dahil po ang tubig po ay mahalaga dahil kailangan pong maging malinis or maghugas ng kamay. So it's important na meron po tayong sapat na tubig or supply ng tubig during the time of COVID.
Okay. Dagdag pa natin, Alvin, na itong kalagayan ng ating mga pananim, no, na napakahalaga for food security during the pandemic ay makikita din sa pamamagitan ng remote sensing through satellite.
Ito naman may katanungan ni Lynn Resurrection ng Senior Editor ng Business Mirror. What were and are the challenges encountered by the second batch of scholars in doing these 2 nanosatellites? If there were challenges, how were they addressed or solved?
Magandang tanong yan ni Lynn kasi nga dito na natin ginagawa. Siguro si Paul Jason ang maaaring tumulong sa akin dyan.
Yes, thank you, Secretary. Actually, ang parehong batch, yung unang batch at pangalawang batch, pareho silang naapektuhan lalo na netong pandemya na to. So, aside from yung usual na pagkuha ng mga kailangan na gamit, nakadagdag yun dun sa mga naging challenges ng ating mga scholar. So, nagawan yun ng paraan na kung yung mga pwedeng magtrabaho remotely ay mga scholars natin ay nagtrabaho remotely. At ang medyo mabigat na challenge ay yung kailangan ng mga scholar na pumunta ng Japan para i-testing yung kanilang mga satellites. At natuloy naman yon para dun sa ating mga unang scholars. Although syempre medyo mahigpit yung pag-travel, pero natuloy naman at nakabalik naman silang lahat ng safe and healthy. Sa second batch, ganun din po. Pero this time, yung buong development period nila ay mas medyo mas challenging dahil nga po dun sa pandemya. Pero again po, meron tayong mga protocols in place para matuloy pa rin nila ang kanilang trabaho despite the pandemic.
Kabuuan, it's really the restrictions imposed by the rules on travel, mobility, yan ang nakakahirap.
Yes, Secretary.
Alright. Ito po itanong ni MJ Balaguer of DW or DZMJ Online. Why are we not building large satellites yet, just like our neighboring country, instead of the microsatellites and nanosatellites?
Kasi po there's immense cost po involved in building these large satellites, and I guess it's a question of budget, but that this is not to say na hindi tayo eventually pupunta sa ganong direksyon. As of now po, yung engagement po natin sa UK ay actually malaki-laki pong satellite to, 100 to 150 kilogram class na satellite. At I guess in the future, nasa plano rin po siguro ng PhilSA ang communication satellites, and this one are really big satellites. Siguro po for now, dahil po nagsisimula rin lang po ang ating journey into space, siguro po it's okay na magsimula po muna tayo sa mga maliliit na satellites. And in fact, dahil nga po sa advancements in technology, no, nag-miniaturize na rin po ang mga components. So eventually, itong mga maliliit na satellites na ito ay magiging powerful satellites na rin po in their own right.
In short, hindi lamang sa dahil nagsisimula tayo kaya maliliit, pero nagiging trend na rin worldwide itong miniaturization. At step by step ang ating ginagawa.
Alright. Ito po itanong ni Divine Reyes, a managing editor ng Unlad Bayan NCR News Weekly. Liban po sa nanosatellites, ano pa ang iba't ibang proyekto ng ASTI na tumutugon sa mga suliranin ng ating bansa dala ng pandemya at iba pa tulad ng sakuna o sa agrikultura?
Ayan, si Alvin, actually itong aming mga pinoprocess na data sa Pedro, di ba Alvin, ay pina-farm out yan sa iba't ibang ehensya. May mga nakukolektang data sa satellite na ibinapasa sa Department of Agriculture, mayroong mga satellite data na ipinapasa sa DENR, mayroong mga satellite data na ipinapasa sa Department of National Defense. So iba-iba, depende kung ano yung nakita doon sa lugar na dumaan yung satellite. Siguro dagdagan mo na lang, Alvin.
So yung satellite images po, marami naman po siyang applications. Ginagamit din po natin siya sa disasters, lalo na po yung ating flooding situation na nangyayari taon-taon, lalo pag panahon po ng bagyo. At ito po ay binibigay natin sa NDRRMC at sa iba pa pong agencies na related sa mga disasters. Meron din po tayong mga sensors na dineploy po natin nationwide, around 2,000 of them, para po magdagdag pa ng data na magagamit natin para dito sa applications ng monitoring ng floods and even agricultural applications.
Alright. Huling katanungan po ito, Secretary. Aabot kaya sa punto na magpapalipad tayo ng sarili nating spacecraft o rocket? Kailan magkakaroon ng manned satellites ang Pilipinas? Yan po'y tanong ni Michael Balaguer, ang publisher ng Diaryong Tagalog.net.
Ewan ko kung merong sagot si Jason at si Alvin doon. Pero siyempre, katulad din naman ng ibang bansa, ay nangangarap din tayo na magkaroon ng ganyan. Ano kaya ang panahon na mangyayari yan, Alvin, Jason?
Siguro po it's a question best answered by PhilSA. Pero katulad po ng sinabi niyo, Sec Boy, tingin ko po may mga bagay po na siguro sa tingin natin ngayon hindi pa natin magagawa. Pero it doesn't mean na hindi natin siya inaasam in the future. And probably it's one of those things na tinitingnan natin ng PhilSA looking forward.
Siguro makakatulong din later yung ating mga Pilipino na ating pinaaral dito na ng bandang huli ay doon sila nagtrabaho sa NASA at malaki rin na naging karanasan nila. Maraming mga balik scientists na po pwedeng makatulong sa atin diyan. At siguro banggitin ko lang na ang Pilipinas, bagamat huli na tayong pumunta dito sa Space Technology Development, actually parang 2013 lang tayo nagsimula at 2016 tayo nagkaroon ng unang launching ng Diwata 1, humahanga sa atin yung ibang bansa katulad ng Japan na kahit daw late comer ang Pilipinas ay napaka-fast learner at napakabilis ng pagka-advance natin in a matter of 7 years. Okay.
Okay. Naku, maraming salamat po, Secretary Boy, at sa ating mga naging panauhin ngayong araw. Muli po kay Professor Paul Jason Co at kay Mr. Alvin Tamar. Secretary Boy, baka may mga pahawal pa kayong mga paalala?
Well, ang paalala natin ay ganun pa din kamukha nung dati. Sabi ko nga, ako tatanungin, napakahalaga talaga ng self-discipline. Yung disiplina ng mga Pilipino ang kailangan. Kasi diyan nagsisimula yung talagang pag-solve ng ating problema. Kaya yung mga disiplina na may kinalaman sa pagsugpo o pagpatigil ng transmission ay napakahalaga. At hopefully, kung madagdagan pa nga ng bakuna, ay lalo nang maganda. No? Kaya yung disiplina ating pairalin, huwag na nating hintayin pa na tayo ay pinupuna o hinuhuli, tayo na mismo ang magboluntaryo na tumulong para naman tayo ay makapagbukas na ng totohanan. No? Yeah. Dahil kailangan na po nating makarecover. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary. Abangan niyo rin po ang Sinisiyensya tuwing Lunes at Expert Talk Online tuwing Miyerkules alas 5 ng hapon kasama si Jel Miranda sa DOSTv Facebook page at YouTube channel. Mas marami pang balita mula sa mundo ng siyensya at teknolohiya ang ating pag-usapan. Tutok lamang kayo tuwing Biyernes alas 4 ng hapon dito sa DOSTv Facebook page. Ako po si Onin Miranda. Ito ang mga balitang may kinalaman sa siyensya at teknolohiya para sa bawat Pilipino. Straight from the S&T Authority ng bansa. Ito ang DOST Report.